Have you ever had a great conversation, or maybe not so great, but it just wouldn't end? The person would not stop talking, and you didn't know how to escape the conversation or how to end it, even if it was a good conversation. You didn't want to be rude, you didn't want to be too abrupt, so you just kept talking. But here's the thing. If you've had a good conversation in English and didn't know how to end it, maybe the conversation was going well, maybe you were laughing, you were connecting, and you understood each other, and then suddenly it was time to leave, and all you could think of was, okay, bye, or see you, which I hear a lot. But the truth is, native English speakers do not use these phrases to end a conversation. There are a lot of better, more natural ways that we use to end a good conversation or a bad conversation, but you have to know the right phrase for the right situation. So if you used these phrases like goodbye or see you and walked away thinking, wait, that felt awkward, today we're going to fix that. We're going to explore several phrases, phrasal verbs, and new vocabulary words that will help you smoothly, politely, fluently end any conversation. Because in English, especially American English, ending a conversation is not just about saying goodbye. It's also a chance to build the relationship. You can end in a way that feels warm, natural, and confident. You can say, "It was great catching up. We should do this again. Let's stay in touch." These phrases are simple, but they're powerful. They help you sound friendly, socially fluent, and open to future connection. I'm Gabby from Go Natural English, and today I'll help you end conversations smoothly and naturally without sounding robotic, cold, or awkward. I'm also going to explain why sometimes people get confused about how Americans make general invitations and don't follow up on them. I'm going to explain why this happens and why you shouldn't feel bad about it. So here's the problem. Many English learners know how to start conversations. They know how to say, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Where are you from?" But ending the conversation can feel harder. Why? Well, for one, we don't practice ending conversations very much. We don't practice them enough. So today is going to be our chance to practice this. And because the ending of a conversation has more emotion, you need to show ideas like, "I enjoyed talking with you. I respect your time. I'm ready to leave. And maybe I'd like to talk again." That's a lot to communicate in just a few seconds and a few words or sentences. So many learners end way too suddenly. They say, "Okay, bye," or "see you," and that's not wrong. But depending on the situation, it can make you sound like a beginner in English, which you're not, or it can feel a little cold or unfinished. Or some people go the other direction and say too much. Like, "I really enjoyed this conversation so much and I hope we can become very close friends and maybe meet again very soon." This may be sincere, but it can feel too intense if you just met. So today, we're learning the middle path. Warm but not too much, friendly but not too intense, natural but still clear. And that's the art of ending a conversation well and fluency in English. So here's your main fluency formula for today. A positive comment plus a future connection plus a goodbye. Let's break that down. So first, a positive comment. This tells the person you enjoyed the conversation. For example, "It was great talking with you. It was great catching up. I'm so glad we got to talk." Second, future connection. This keeps the relationship open. For example, "Let's stay in touch. We should do this again. Let's grab coffee sometime." And third, goodbye. Simple and friendly, but not literally the word goodbye. For example, "I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Talk soon." So the full ending could sound like this. "It was great talking with you. Let's stay in touch. Have a great rest of your day." Or, "It was great catching up. We should do this again sometime. Talk soon." This structure helps you avoid awkward endings. You don't just disappear with, "Okay, bye, see you." You close the conversation with warmth and direction and professionalism. So let's talk about this phrase, it was great catching up, because there's something I need you to know about it. It was great catching up. This is perfect when you already know the person, but you haven't talked in a while, maybe a week or more. To catch up means to talk with someone and share updates about your life since the last time you talked. So for example, maybe you see an old coworker. You talk about your jobs, family, life, travel, or what's new. And at the end, you can say, "It was great catching up." This means it was nice to talk again and hear what's been happening in your life. You can also say, "It was so nice catching up with you." This sounds a little warmer. Or, "I'm really glad we got to catch up." This sounds sincere and personal. But be careful, because you usually use catching up with someone you already know. If you just met the person for the first time, don't say, "It was great catching up." Instead, say, "It was great meeting you," or "It was great talking with you." So remember, an old friend or someone you already know, "It was great catching up." A new person, "It was great meeting you." The difference matters. So the next important phrase I want to dig into is "let's stay in touch." This is a very useful phrase, especially for networking, social events, professional connections, and friendly conversations. It means let's continue communicating in the future. But here's the nuance. Let's stay in touch is warm, but it can also be very general. And here's where people think sometimes that Americans sound fake. Because "let's stay in touch" doesn't always mean that you have a specific plan. It simply keeps the door open. For example, at a conference, "It was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch." After talking with a former coworker, "It was so nice catching up. Let's stay in touch." If you want to make it more specific, add a next step. Make it more concrete with a more specific invitation, like, "Let's stay in touch. I'll send you that article we talked about." "Let's stay in touch. Are you on LinkedIn?" "Let's stay in touch. I'd love to hear how your project goes." That sounds more natural because you're not just saying a polite phrase, you're creating a reason to connect. It's more concrete, and that's relationship building. But keep in mind that if someone just says, "Let's stay in touch," and that's it, that's very general. That's not a specific invitation, and that's okay. It's simply leaving the door open to continued connection. Another important phrase that I want to dig into is "we should do this again." This is a friendly way to suggest meeting or talking again. You can use it after coffee, lunch, a nice conversation, a walk, a class, a networking chat, or even a video call. For example, "This was fun. We should do this again." "I really enjoyed talking with you. We should do this again sometime." "This was great. We should grab coffee again soon." Now let's talk about nuance, because again, "we should do this again" is warm and friendly, but it's not always a firm plan. It often means "I enjoyed this and I'm open to doing it again," but it's not a firm invitation. So if you want to make it sound more real, add a specific idea. "We should do this again, maybe next month." "We should grab coffee again soon." "We should get together again when things slow down." But if you just want to be friendly without pressure, say, "We should do this again sometime." That word "sometime" makes it lighter. It means you're open, but you're not forcing an immediate plan. It's very natural and very socially useful. Okay, now let's combine the phrases. Imagine you're talking with an old friend you haven't seen in a while. You could say, "It was so nice catching up with you. We should do this again sometime. Have a great rest of your day." So this sounds warm and natural, but note that we didn't make specific plans. It's just open to connecting again. Now imagine you're at a professional event and you meet someone new. You could say, "It was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Are you on LinkedIn?" This sounds professional and practical, and you can stay connected on LinkedIn. Now, imagine you had coffee with someone from your community. You could say, I really enjoyed this. We should grab coffee again soon. This sounds friendly and sincere. Now, compare that to, okay, bye. Do you hear the difference? The first examples create connection. They make the other person feel valued. They help the relationship continue. And that is advanced social fluency, because fluency is not only grammar. Fluency is knowing how to make people feel comfortable and connected. And a smooth ending can make a conversation feel complete. Okay, now let's learn how to adjust your ending depending on who you're talking to, because sometimes you want to sound warmer, sometimes you want to sound lighter, and sometimes you want to be more specific. So to sound warmer, add words like really, so, honestly. For example, it was really great talking with you. It was so nice catching up. Honestly, I'm really glad we got to talk. To sound lighter, add sometime, at some point, or when things slow down. For example, we should do this again sometime. Let's grab coffee at some point. We should catch up again when things slow down. To sound more specific, add a clear next step. I'll text you next week. I'll send you that link. Or let's put something on the calendar. So this phrase can become, it was so nice catching up. We should do this again sometime. I'll text you next week. This sounds warm, natural, and clear. And this is how you move from just polite English to connected English. Now let's learn 5 phrasal verbs related to ending conversations and staying connected. First, to catch up, to talk with someone and share life updates. For example, it was great catching up with you. To stay in touch, to continue communicating. For example, let's stay in touch. Number 3, to meet up. To meet someone, usually socially. For example, we should meet up again soon. 4, to follow up. To contact someone after a conversation, usually about something specific. For example, I'll follow up with you about this tomorrow. 5, to reach out, to contact someone. For example, feel free to reach out to me anytime. These phrasal verbs are useful because they help you continue the relationship after the conversation ends. You're not just saying bye, you're showing what might happen next. To catch up is social, to stay in touch is relational, to meet up is practical, to follow up is professional, and to reach out is open and friendly. These are powerful phrasal verb tools for networking, friendship, dating, community, and work. Now let's add 5 more useful phrases and vocabulary words. Number 1, it was great talking with you. Use this for almost anyone. A new person, a coworker, a neighbor, a friend. For example, it was great talking with you. Have a good one. Number 2, I'm glad we got to talk. This sounds sincere and a little more personal. For example, I'm glad we got to talk. I really appreciate your perspective. Number 3, have a great rest of your day. This is a friendly goodbye phrase, much better than just saying bye. For example, have a great rest of your day. Number 4, talk soon. For example, thanks again, talk soon. This is casual and warm. Number 5, let's put something on the calendar. This means let's schedule a specific time to see each other again. For example, this was really great. Let's put something on the calendar for next week. Now you have much more than just bye or see you. You can say, it was great talking with you. I'm glad we got to talk. Have a great rest of your day. Talk soon. Or even, let's put something on the calendar. These little phrases can completely change how your conversation ends and how fluent you sound. Now here's your fluency tip for the day. Match the energy of the relationship. This means that your goodbye should fit the level of closeness. If you just met someone at a professional event, you probably don't want to sound too emotional. A good ending is, it was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Simple, warm, and professional. If you're talking with a friend you really enjoyed seeing, you can be warmer. It was so good catching up with you. We should do this again soon. If you're talking with a coworker after a meeting, you can keep it practical. Thanks for talking through this with me. I'll follow up later today. That sounds professional and clear. And here's some mistakes that people make. They use the same goodbye for everyone, but natural English changes depending on the relationship. So don't use the same goodbye for everyone. Ask yourself, is this person a new contact, a friend, a coworker, a close friend, a neighbor, a client? And then choose the phrase that fits. Because fluency is not just about knowing one word for all situations. It's about knowing what fits the moment. Now, here's a cultural communication tip. In American English, people often use future language casually. For example, we should do this again, or let's grab coffee sometime, or let's stay in touch. These phrases can be sincere, but they're not always firm plans. So this can be confusing. Why did someone say we should hang out sometime and then they never followed up with me? They never called me, they never texted me. What happened? You might think, okay, when are we hanging out? But sometimes they're just being generally friendly and they don't have the intention to make a specific plan with you yet. So how do you know if it's a real invitation? Are they being sincere? Do they really want to get to know you? Listen for specifics. A general phrase is, we should do this again sometime. Maybe they're just being friendly because it's not a plan yet. But more specific is, we should do this again next week. Are you free Thursday? That is a real invitation. General, let's stay in touch. Specific, let's stay in touch. I'll email you tomorrow. That is more concrete, more actionable. So when you use these phrases, understand the nuance. If you want to be friendly, keep it general. If you want to actually reconnect, add a specific next step. That's very important in American social communication. Now it's time to practice. Repeat after me. It was great catching up. It was so nice catching up with you. I'm really glad we got to talk. Let's stay in touch. We should do this again. We should do this again sometime. It was great talking with you. It was great meeting you. Have a great rest of your day. Talk soon. Now let's practice with a little more natural rhythm. It was so great catching up with you. We should do this again sometime. It was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch. I'm really glad we got to talk. I'll follow up with you next week. Beautiful. Good job. Practice these until they feel automatic, because when it's your turn to leave a conversation and end it, you don't want to search for words and freeze up. You want to be ready. Now let's practice full endings for different situations. Situation 1, you see an old friend. You're ending the conversation. It was so nice catching up with you. We should do this again soon. Again, it was so nice catching up with you. We should do this again soon. Situation 2, you meet someone at a networking event. It was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Are you on LinkedIn? Again, it was great meeting you. Let's stay in touch. Are you on LinkedIn? Next, you finish a work conversation. Repeat after me. Thanks for talking this through with me. I'll follow up later today. Again, thanks for talking this through with me. I'll follow up later today. Next, you had coffee with someone. I really enjoyed this. We should grab coffee again sometime. Again, I really enjoyed this. We should grab coffee again sometime. Next, you need to leave politely. I don't want to keep you, but it was great talking with you. Have a great rest of the day. Again, I don't want to keep you, but it was great talking with you. Have a great rest of your day. So that last phrase, I don't want to keep you, is very natural. It's a very natural way to end a conversation without sounding rude, even if you're dying to get out of a conversation. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. I remember years ago, I went to a professional event where I met someone I really connected with. We had a great conversation. We talked about work, travel, language learning, and creative projects. And then the conversation naturally started to end. But instead of saying something warm, I think I just said, okay, bye, and walked away. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't very smooth. And later I thought, wait, I actually liked that conversation. What did I do? Why didn't I say that? Sometimes we miss opportunities to build relationships because we don't have the right closing phrases ready. So now I try to be more intentional, more ready. If I enjoyed the conversation, I'll say, it was great talking with you. If I want to keep the relationship open, I'll say, let's stay in touch. If I genuinely want to meet again, I'll say, we should do this again sometime. Simple phrases, big difference. So let's review. Today you learned 3 important phrases. It was great catching up. Let's stay in touch. And we should do this again. You learned 5 phrasal verbs: to catch up, which means to share life updates; to stay in touch, which means to keep communicating; to meet up, which means to meet socially; to follow up, which means to contact someone after a conversation; and to reach out, which means to contact someone. And 5 more useful phrases. It was great talking with you. I'm glad we got to talk. Have a great rest of your day. Talk soon. And let's put something on the calendar. So your challenge today is simple. It's to think of one person you enjoyed talking to recently. Then practice saying this out loud. It was great talking with you. Let's stay in touch. Or, it was so nice catching up. We should do this again sometime. Because remember, a good ending doesn't just close the conversation, it opens the door for the next one. And this is so important for building your connections in English. In the next episode, we will build on this with the phrase, I'll let you go, and talk more about how to exit conversations politely without feeling awkward. You'll learn how to leave a conversation when you need to go without sounding rude or uncomfortable. Again, I'm Gabby from Go Natural English, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.